Melissa Meiste here from Nephew Physical Therapy. It's almost softball season. Oh, I'm so excited. Every spring, the start of softball season means summer is coming. What it can also mean is increased chance of pulling our quads and our hamstrings. If you play softball, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because nowhere over the course of the winter did I go from a complete standing position to taking a quick, as fast as I can, run out of the batter's box, or from a standing position in the outfield, standing still, suddenly sprinting towards that fly ball to my right. Softball season is so much fun, but because it's such a start and stop and stop and start sport, we're at much greater risk of pulling those muscles, especially on the front and the back of our thigh. They can last you all season long if you actually do pull that quad or hamstring. So, few tips from somebody who's done it a few times and got hurt a few times to keep in mind. One, let's be honest. All those who have just gone to a softball season, especially as you've gotten older with kids and business and everything else, showed up to their first game and never threw a ball or never hit before the season started. Okay, so maybe that's not you, but I have done it. Not getting my body used to the motion of throwing, of hitting, of even running the bases. So we know better, but we don't always do it. So get those gloves warmed up, get those bats out, get together with your friends, and make sure you reacquaint your body to the motions of a softball game. Secondly, before the actual game, we probably should actually warm up. Now, yes, we'll all get on the field and toss a few balls back and forth, but I'm talking about actually warming up your whole body. And again, just know that I'm talking to myself about this as well. We need to be warmed up. That's not just taking one lap around the field. We should probably, take a 20-30 minute walk before. Actually go through the motions of swinging, of throwing, possibly stretching out, the front and the back of that thigh, the quad and the hamstrings, just making sure everything is opening up. And then lastly, if you actually do pull, injure, sprain your quad or your hamstring, here's a few things that you should keep in mind going forward. One, just like any other injury, you should be putting some ice on it. So, good rule, 15 to 20 minutes. I would get it on right after the game if you decide to, tough it out. 15 to 20 minutes of icing every 2 to 3 hours. So ice that down throughout the evening. We want to slow down the inflammatory process. We don't necessarily start stretching it right away. We need to give it a little bit of rest. All right? So let that happen. After a day or two, start adding a little bit of stretch followed by a muscle activation. So we're often thinking we should just be stretching that muscle out, but we need to make sure it can contract and relax. So I would be doing some quad activities, whether that's just you're sitting on the edge of your bed, kicking your toes up and down, kicking that foot up and down, followed by some stretching, all the way to some gentle squatting activities, all right? From there, we get into doing light jogging. I want to keep progressing that muscle to be able to do it. Again, what gets us in trouble with softball is we're doing a lot of waiting and then suddenly being activated to chase down that ball, to hit that ball, whatever that may be. So you're going to want to slowly reintegrate motion into that quad or hamstring. So again, start out with the ice, progress onto stretching, slowly get into muscle contractions, which can be started in sitting, moving to standing, jogging, and then moving on to the sprint. Now, this will just depend on how badly you've injured it. If it becomes full-on bruise, you can tell there's been some damage, you're definitely going to need to ice that down and probably take the reintegration back into the sport a little slower. So don't be that guy or gal that doesn't warm up properly before the start of the season, doesn't get their body ready, because believe me, I'm already out throwing softballs with my husband in the yard, and we're about to get the bats out here soon. Make sure that your body is ready for this activity as the weather starts getting warmer, as we're moving more, which is all good stuff. but make sure it doesn't get in the way of you having fun this summer. And if you can't get it better on your own, that's why we're here, because pain is not normal. Do something about it.